better, we can look outside of our traditional arrangements. One of the things that we did in the next stage review was give community staff the opportunity, I think it's called the right to request. So if you're a group of community staff, you think you've got ideas about how to run your service better than the way that it's being run at the moment for patients, but you think you have the confidence to pick up the challenge and take it forward and manage yourselves in a social enterprise or some other kind of vehicle, you have the right to do it. You don't have to wait for the PCT to decide to tell you to do it. You don't have to wait until the Department of Health say it's a good thing. You can take these challenges yourself and take them forward. A really important way, I think, of delivering change. The way we take practice-based commissioning forward outside of the normal arrangements, the integrated care organisations, all things that are about frontline people, people who are delivering change in services, taking control, taking that responsibility and making change happen. And the final thing that particularly strikes me has struck me on a number of the exhibitions I've been on is using the power of patients. Using patient power as a real transmission belt for innovation. I went to Sheffield to see Devices for Dignity, who've got a fantastic organisation doing remarkable work. And here they'd miniaturised home dialysis, a really impressive thing that they'd done. And I met a patient there, and we were talking about it, and they were saying that they're finding it really difficult to drive home dialysis in this really miniaturised form. And it gives enormous benefits for patients to take it on holiday and all sorts. It gives them much more flexibility than the traditional stuff. But the inertia in the system was really holding things back. There was a whole set of organisations and people who had an interest in keeping things the way that they are. And the cleverest system in the world with plans and targets and all the rest of it simply won't make that happen just because we say it would happen. But that patient said to me, give me my budget, give me the money for home dialysis, and me and my fellow patients will drive that change in a way that you can't imagine. And that's the sort of drive for change, giving patients more clout, which was so central to the next stage review, is what we need to focus on to drive innovation. Now, one of the issues that inevitably come with innovation is failure. It happens. When you're driving a change, when you're at the leading edge of things, when you want to get on and do things and take things forward, sometimes we fail. It's inevitable in the circumstances. We haven't always in the NHS created an environment where failure is seen just as an opportunity to learn. But it seems to me, in terms of our mindsets, that needs to be exactly where we are. We need to create an environment. We have a mutual system. It must be absolutely possible for us, if we really want to provide support to people who are at the leading edge, who sometimes are unhorsed or fail in what they're trying to do. It's part of my job and the politician's job nationally to provide that support to people across, and it's the responsibility of people who run all organisations to make sure that we do this sort of thing. If we're going to get innovation, we're going to get failure. If we're going to get failure, we're going to have to make sure that we support people in those circumstances to create the environment where they are supported. Absolutely crucial for us. Now, Aradazi in his speech yesterday talked about, as a government minister, he didn't want to lecture us about what we should do. He talked about what we shouldn't do. Because whilst we can say all this about mindsets and say all this thing about innovation, we have got the whole issue of the recession and how we deal with it. And traditionally, when faced with a financial problem, the NHS has operated in a particular way. If we do that this time, we will fail. We will not deliver services for our patients that we so importantly need to do. We will not improve the services to our communities in the way that we need. We will fail. So this is so important for us as we go forward, not to retreat. And he talked about 4 or 5 things. I've got 5 things here that we should not do as we take things forward. We should not lose talent. We should not allow people to drift away from the NHS because the service is not supporting them in the kind of risks and changes that they want to make. We need to nurture them and support them. Often these are sometimes difficult people to work with, but we need to nurture and support them. We should not cut our investment in technology at almost every level, whether it's IT or particular technology for services. In the implementation of that is where the benefits for our patients and reducing costs will come. We should not become risk averse. I would argue we need to take more risks, manage risks of course, and particularly in relation to patient safety, but we must take those risks if we're going to get the real change that we need. We should not revert to command and control. How often have we been in the place where a financial problem has affected it, has come to the NHS, and we've reverted to top down? Apart from anything else, it simply won't deliver the change that we need, and we need to hold on to that very tight as we take forward a particular responsibility for me. And also, particularly important, if you think that quality is systemic, we should not retreat into the bunkers of our organisations. If we think that our organisation can be a sea of success, an island of success in a sea of failure, we simply won't deliver for our patients. Quality is systemic, so working together in partnership across the system is more important now than perhaps it was in the past. And the final thing that I would leave you with, and I guess it's obvious, it's something I say a lot to people in the system. It's very important we take hold of it. When you do all of that, the thing that I would hold very close to is the obvious statement at one level, and that is that forgiveness is much easier to get than permission. So go out there and change service for our patients. Thank you.